A lot of the articles and things that you see about annuities, Eric, talk about not using them necessarily from an estate planning point of view. And yet, there are many ways that annuities are used very effectively in estate planning. So let's kind of.
We got a few things on our list here to help people kind of know what some of those things when it comes to estate planning that come into play. And obviously, in the first thing, whenever you have a beneficiary form, it helps you to avoid
probate.
Costs.
Yeah, you go around probate and you can avoid the delays and all the cost and make sure that the assets get over to the heirs.
So the insurance company takes and looks at the form and says, hey, we can take the remaining assets and distribute it to the beneficiary.
Right. So. Yes, and the beneficiary form, and it isn't just on annuities, but even on other products, that the beneficiary form trumps the will.
Yes.
It always, goes beyond that and goes over. So another thing that folks don't like so much about probate is everything ending up in the public record.
Right.
So this is a way to get assets around probate, get it right in their hands, your children or whoever you want that money to go to, and avoid it.
Right, and we never like the judge telling us what we have to do or what our parents intended or what our grandparents intended for that to happen with the money. So this is the way of making sure that actually goes the right direction.
Right. So. One of the other ways that's been very popular to use annuities is in charitable type giving.
It's a way of moving money effectively to a charity.
Right.
You're still getting usually an income stream.
You'll get an income stream, and the charity eventually will get the remainder, whatever's left over. One of the problems that we see, though, is, and folks, you may have heard of some of these charities that haven't fared so well, through the financial crisis, and so folks that had an annuity from some of these charities that did go under and had problems. Their income stream didn't continue.
Right.
So what you really want to consider when you're setting up a charitable gift annuity is that you set it up with maybe a commercial grade. Yeah.
It's a little more like let the insurance company take care of the annuity versus letting the charity take care of the annuity.
Right. Because the fraternal organizations have the right to do annuities, but they don't really have the guarantee associations. They don't have the claims paying ability and the clout that a commercial grade company would have.
It's just not their specialty when it comes down to it.
Right. It sounds
not
good.
a bad idea.
It sounds good. It feels good, but
we're
it's
all
always
for giving money to charity.
That's
It just doesn't always work the way it sometimes is designed to.
Right.
Now the other thing we see a lot now, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's new, but it really is taking and putting special benefits on charity or on annuities just to make sure that there's a guarantee associated with the growth amount. We've talked about the income guarantees.
Right.
Now we've got some of these death benefit guarantees.
Right. Exactly. And when you start getting into the ridiculously low rates, in the rate environment that we're in today with CDs and the unpredictability of the market, so many folks are saying, look, I want to get money over to my heirs, but I kind of want to know what they're going to get and know that they're going to get something, and that this money is going to do something. So we're seeing right now with some of the better ones, maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of between a 3 and a 4% death benefit guarantee, and there's even some that they'll stack on top.
Yeah.
So you could actually get a 4% guarantee plus any type of gains that you gain from an index stacked on top of that. And so if you start putting that together, you're really in the realm of maybe getting somewhere in the neighborhood of the potential of a 7-8% compounding interest for your heirs. And yet you've got a 4% minimum guarantee.
Yeah, and it's not that I want to get a little morbid here, but for people that can't get life insurance,
yes,
it's a nice way of providing that guarantee that they are going to be able to provide for some of those final expenses and take some of that burden off the beneficiaries.
Right.
So, easy for us to say.
I would say some folks like to make sure that their children are taken care of because they've got their retirement, they've got a nice pension, everything's going well, they've got money in their IRAs, and so they want to make sure that some of that money goes over to their children and they can have a retirement that's kind of started ahead of time for them.
So is that a stretch IRA?
It's a stretch.
Okay.
It's like very popular with annuities. The insurance companies are set up to stretch and they can use the IRA laws, or I'm sorry, the IRS laws that were established to allow this to take place.
Okay.
So.
Now, this was one of a strange term we had talked about, and it's called disclaiming.
Disclaiming. Yes, right,
So, and how when you're passing an asset, in this case an annuity, onto a beneficiary.
Right.
And you have contingent beneficiaries listed.
Then you can have the right.
So my mother lists me as a beneficiary and my kids as contingent beneficiaries, as an example.
Right.
And for some reason, after she would pass, I'm the beneficiary. If I decide that I don't want to take maybe the tax hit, or I can choose to basically disinherit myself, or
disclaim, right.
And allow those assets to go
right onto the children.
Beneficiaries.
Right. And that's really good, folks, because you never know, you want to leave money to the grandchildren, but you don't know if they're really going to be responsible enough to receive the money. So you trust the parent maybe as the primary, and then the parent makes the decision based on their own financial situation and the responsibility level of the children. So depending on your unique family situation, an annuity can work very well for disclaiming.
And most likely that's the one strategy you might have learned from this video so far today. So and now talking about taxes again in a little bit broader sense, and we've talked about it before, kind of supersizing the tax-free aspect, and it's using a Roth IRA, and wrapping that within an annuity.
Right. And many folks, it's amazing that I've had so many folks, Eric, that have said, "Oh, you mean I can put my Roth in an IRA?" Well, it's not only is it great for estate planning, because you can get all of that money tax-free over to the kids, and again, you can establish their retirement tax-free. They do have to take RMDs out, but they're much smaller because of their age, and they're tax-free. They're tax-free, yes.
So you're not paying taxes, which is the key aspect of the Roth.
So not only does it work well for that type of estate transfer, it also works well for income, because if you a little off the subject of estate, but if you set up a IRA with Roth funds that are already there, all of your income can be tax-free.
All right, tax-free. Now this is another strategy that we have seen used quite a bit.
Right.
Using an annuity to then fund life insurance.
Right.
To past, and people always say, well, why would you use an annuity to fund life insurance when you didn't just fund the life insurance to begin with?
Well, there's a lot of great reasons to use the annuity. The annuity gives the confidence that there's a lifetime of income to make the premiums for the life insurance. The life insurance then takes those premiums, leverages it into a much larger amount of money. The life insurance can actually grow if it's indexed properly. And in fact, folks, some of the caps in indexed universal life insurance are much higher than on the annuity.
They're actually double digits. We could actually say that,
So you can actually see the money grow internally in the policy, and then be protected from taxes, and it just creates a really nice scenario. Not very many people understand that or utilize it. But those that do, and a lot of times the higher net worth folks are properly advised on this, and they get the benefit of it.
Well, and if you think about it, if you use an annuity to fund life insurance, and if you would happen to die after 1 month of funding, both the annuity balance, whatever is remaining there, as well as
all of the tax-free life insurance,
goes on.
And this is made possible by the Internal Revenue Code, IRC 7702. And so, it's...
And this is where we tell you we are not accountants nor attorneys. However, we are playing them on television right now. So,
yeah, you definitely want to get with your own CPA or your own attorney, or a financial planner in your area. But the things that we're explaining to you are very effective, and we've used many of these with our own clients.
That's right. So, yes, annuities can be effectively used in estate planning.
Absolutely, and this is just a partial list, so we may come back with some additional items that can help you, and we'll post a few things on the blog.
Sounds great.
So,
thanks for tuning in today.
Thank you.